Dead by Daylight is a super fun game, mostly known for its very iconic killers. But are these killers really as scary as they seem? Well, to find out, that is why I am making a tier list of how scary I think the killers are. And remember guys, it's just my opinion, so please don't tag me in comments. You can share your own opinion though. Let's start off with Evan the Trapper Macmillan. I'm going to be ranking these killers from D to S, as in D being not that scary, and for S being terrifying. The Trapper is basically just a guy with a mask, so I'm going to put him in C. Now, let's move on to Wraith. Wraith, again, is just a guy with this weird mask, and although his weapon is made out of, I think it's a skull, and it's really cool. His backstory is really awesome. But he's just not that scary, so we're going to also have to place him in the C category. Now let's move on to the Hillbilly Boy. So for Hillbilly, this is a tough one, because everyone says he's not that scary, but I think that his face is kind of scary. And no, it's not a mask, it's literally just his face. Ever since he was born with this weird facial deformity thing, and it's always stuck with him, so it's a little different than a mask. So we are going to have to place him in B. Next up, we have the Nurse. Now this is kind of a tough one, but I am going to put her into the C tier, just above the Trapper, because I feel like she's a little more scary than them in a way. Michael Bagelbite Myers. Now this guy, he's a little tough, but I'm going to have to put him right behind Hillbilly, because I feel like he's scarier than the ones that are in C tier, but he's also not as scary as Billy, because again, he's just a dude with a mask. But the only reason I put him in the B tier, because I feel like he's scarier than the ones that are before him, but he's not as scary as Billy. The Hag. Now this is a pretty easy one. The Hag is not demon level scary, but she is pretty scary. So that's why I'm going to be putting her in the A tier, because she's a cannibalistic murderer, and who doesn't love one of those? Now the Doctor. Hermy Wormy Squirrely Burly. Yep, that's him. Herman. Yep, so this guy, easy. He's going to be in A tier. But I'm going to put him behind the Hag just because I feel like she's a little bit more scary than him. And also, I'm giving him A tier because the way his face is, the way he's forced to smile, and it looks like that, it really matches the whole insane look. Now for the Huntress. Look, I know everyone's gonna hate me for this because she's a super loved character, and I love her too. She's an awesome character. This does not affect her in any way at all. She's a great character to be, but I'm gonna have to sadly put her in the D tier. Okay, it's just for me though, because I feel like she is not as scary as any of the other killers. It's mostly because she wears a bunny rabbit on her head. I know that's kind of cool because it's the animal she hunted, right? But still, it's just any animal ones, it doesn't find anything scary for me. Sorry. Next up, Bubba. Now this was probably one of the easiest ones for me, because I feel it's pretty self-explanatory. He's a regular dude with a face on his face. Yeah, he's a cannibalistic murderer, kind of like the Hag, except he kind of wears his victims in a way. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm gonna put him in the top of B tier. The old nightmare himself, Freddy Krueger. So this one is kind of hard because he's wearing regular clothing. It's just his face and his little fingers that are really messed up. So his face is all burned from a fire, and his fingers are literally claws. That's his weapon. So I am going to say he's going to be at the bottom of C tier. Moving on to the Pig. Again, this one it's kind of like Huntress. It's an animal, so I don't find it really scary. So I'm going to have to put it in the top of D tier. Now moving on to the Clown. Now this one's a little hard because I don't find clowns really scary, except the fat clowns. The fat clowns are just like kind of deadly scary. I'm just kidding, not deadly scary, but a little scary. So I'm going to put him in the middle of B tier, just above Michael Myers. Now we have our first S tier killer, and the S tier killer is going to be the Spirit. Yep. Oh, Yamakawa Walla Walla, whatever. Because if you look at the Spirit, the way her like limbs aren't even connected, and like the shard coming out of her hand, that is like, I'm pretty sure that's where her sword comes from. And the fact that she can have so many different facial expressions it's really scary. So I think that she deserves our first S tier spot. Let's go on to the Legion, or should I say Legions, because there's like a couple of them, like 4. But anyways, Legion, I have to put this at the top of D tier because it is literally so dumb. It's just a guy with a hoodie and a mask on. You can literally see it's a human. It's not scary at all. Like, do better. For the plague, now this is pretty easy. It's literally just a woman with half of her face like kind of disgusting with a plague on it. So it's really not that bad. So I'm gonna place at the bottom of C tier. Ghostface. Now this one is pretty much just like Michael Myers, so it's really not that hard to judge, except I think Michael Myers is a little bit scarier than him, just because Michael Myers he barely even moves. He shows no emotion whatsoever. So I'm going to be placing Ghostface right under Michael Myers in B tier. Now on to the Demogorgon. Now, I know that the Demogorgon is my new main. I'm not going to treat him any differently, though. This might be a little rough on people, though, because I'm going to put him at the top of S tier. Now, I'm only doing this because he actually looks freaking terrifying. If you look at him, he doesn't have a face. He literally has a mouth full of teeth. There's got to be like hundreds of teeth in there. And also, the way he looks so humanoid with his flesh like that, I think it is terrifying. On to the Oni. So this one, it was pretty good to judge, because I think I made a really good decision for this. I put the Oni in the A tier. So I put him there because I feel like he's the perfect mix between like kind of not scary but also really scary at the exact same time. Now onto a killer I cannot find scary at all. We're gonna put the Deathslinger into the bottom of D tier. I cannot find this character scary at all. I don't really know why, because he looks super cool. It's just he does not look any scary to me. Now moving on to the Executioner. So this guy is just a person with a pyramid on his head. And I don't think it's that scary, but when you look at how the pyramid is all bloody and stuff, I think you can find it's a little scary. So I'm going to put him in B tier, just behind Bubba. Now moving on to Blight. Blight is easily one of the scariest killers in the game. I think that he is super scary, so I'm going to have to put him in the middle of the Spirit and Demogorgon in the S tier. Now for the twins. The twins are kind of not really scary. I don't really find them that scary. There's just one thing about them I can find that's a little frightening. So the fact that the woman, I don't remember her name. She has her twin Victor living inside of her. If you see that, that is just really disgusting. So I'm gonna have to put her in the bottom of C tier. Now for the Trickster. Now this is a pretty easy one. Easily, we're gonna have to put him in the D tier because he is just completely unscary. He's a K-pop star or something, so I don't find him scary at all. So this was a kind of hard one, the Nemesis. This guy is pretty scary. You can look at him like that and think, wow, that guy's kind of scary. So he's kind of like at the top of A tier, maybe a little bit on the bottom of S tier, but we're going to keep him on the top of A tier. Okay, moving on to the Cenobite, Pinhead himself. Now, everyone's gonna hate me for this, but I'm putting him at the bottom of D tier. So I cannot find this character scary. It's mainly because he's just a guy with a bunch of pins in his head. Or at least that's what he looks like. So I really can't find him scary at all. So, yeah, he's going in D. Alright, moving on to the artist. Now, this character is pretty scary, I would say. Not like all the way scary, but kind of scary, you know? So I am going to say she is in B tier probably at the end of B tier. Just because I think that every character whose neck is like super long, that like gives me the heebie-jeebies. So I just don't like it. So yeah, I'm going to have to put her into the B tier. Now for a super creepy killer, not exactly scary, just creepy. We're moving on to the Onryo. So this is literally just a girl with hair covering her face. But have you seen her fingernails? They're so disgusting, and it's honestly kind of scary of how disgusting they are. So I'm going to have to put her at the end of A tier. Moving on to the Dredge now. We have the Dredge here. He looks kind of like the giant meat monster from Stranger Things. So it's kind of scary, but not that scary. I think I would honestly tie him with the Onryo for this one. So I'm going to have to put him in the A tier, right next to the Onryo. Onto the Mastermind, Wesker. So we are going to have to put this guy probably in the end of C tier, I would say. Because he's kind of like... He's not that scary. I would put him in the D, but he has those weird black tentacle things. That's the only reason I'm not putting him in the D tier. So I accidentally put two characters together on accident. It's the Knight and Skull Merchant. So I'm gonna just level them together, or like where they are. So for Skull Merchant, it's really just a woman with robotics on her, but she's a little scary with her arms and stuff. So I'm gonna have to put her in the B tier. Unlike Knight, who's a lot more scarier than her, I feel like he should go into the A tier. Moving on to one of the most scary killers in the game, is Singularity. So Singularity, this one was kind of tough. I was either going to put him ahead of Spirit or behind, but after I took a close look at Spirit, I realized I had to put the Singularity right before Spirit into the S tier. Because if you look at the guy, he's like pure nightmare fuel. He's like actually scary. Moving on to another very, very scary character. Let's go on to Alien or Xenomorph, whatever. So Xenomorph, this is a pretty easy one. I'm putting him right before Demogorgon in the S tier because he kind of looks like the Demogorgon just in a different way. And he's like, I like how he's like humanoid kind of, but he also looks like a monster at the same time. It's really cool. Alright guys, it is finally time to see our least scariest character on this list and in the game. Okay, drum roll once again. It's Chucky! I think expected Chucky because he is like really average size, I guess. He's super small and he's like, I feel like I could take him in a fight easily, even though I'm just 12. But anyways, still, yeah, that's really cool. I love how Chucky looks, but still, it's like a little boy. It looks like a baby. So I think I would be able to take it, which means I'm not really scared of this. So I'm putting it in the top of D tier. It is now time for the scariest killer in the game. One last drum roll, everyone. The Unknown. That's right. Again, I think everyone expected that. Because the Unknown is probably the most scariest killer in the whole game. Because he is absolutely terrifying. I'm talking, have you looked at this guy's face and body? Like, he's not even human. He's a thing. He is unknown. That's literally his name. Nobody knows what he is. He is a random creature they found in the abyss. And he is terrifying, and I love it. Now for our last and final killer, we have Vecna, aka the Lich. So the Lich, this one, again, is pretty easy. I'm going to put him at the bottom of A tier. I don't find him too scary, but when you look at his overall design, you can find that it's a little scary. So I think we have the right to put him at the bottom of A tier. Hey guys, Riftflare here, and I want to know what type of ranking for Deadly Daylight Killers or perks or survivors do you want to see next? Because now that I've made this video, I really like making them. So I'm probably going to make more from now on. And I'm going to probably make this into a series or something. I'm not really sure. But yeah, I'm going to turn this into a bunch of stuff. So it's going to be really fun. Make sure to like and subscribe down below if you're still here and enjoyed the video. And make sure to have a good day.